Maybe next.
This works. Hello?
They're working.
Testing, testing.
Okay, good morning and Happy New Year. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. The time is 3:05. All right. And Happy New Year. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with roll call. Olivia Allen. Sandra Flores.
Present.
Eliza Long.
Here.
Michelle Jones.
Here.
And Dr. Sonia Durwatcher.
Present.
Awesome. Thank you. And then the committee liaisons, Jennifer Buxton.
Present.
Park and Rec, Lisa Oliver. Michael Dice. Mai Bernal. And I do know that Ricardo Rodriguez is not going to be here today. Remember that. Okay, and do we have any members here for public comment?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, and one change that's going to be on the agenda, item G10, we will go ahead and move that for discussion for next month because we do have kind of a lengthy meeting this afternoon. And so we'll discuss item G10 next month, not this month. All right, and then we'll go ahead and move for, can I get an approval for minutes from last month's meeting?
I make a motion to approve minutes.
Okay, can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Awesome, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, okay, motion passes to approve minutes for our last meeting. And then also, can I get a motion to approve Olivia Allen as unexcused absence for this month?
I make a motion.
Thank
I
you.
second. Sandra.
Thank you so much, Michelle and Sandra. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, motion passes to approve Olivia Allen as unexcused absence.
Is this the right time to ask, like, how many excused absences is somebody allowed to have? Only because we're coming up to where we're going to be having applicants already to fill positions, and if we're at that cap.
So I believe the cap might be 3 or 4. I've got to call into the city secretary's office, but I think they're out of the office today doing council orientation. However, our committee member who has a series of unexcused absences, the term is up, so that person would need to reapply, and then Melissa will share with the city secretary the history of the absences, so it may be a moot point.
Thank you.
All righty. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to our subcommittee reports and possible action items. I do know some of these might be small or we may not have one only because of the holiday schedule. So subcommittee reports, engineering, did we have anything to report?
We had met back in November. We did not meet in December since we had not had a regular meeting. And I had sent everything, I believe, to yourself and Jennifer regarding our discussion. And mainly we discussed maybe promoting some of the use of the reporting systems that the city already has. And we kind of discussed how we can best serve as that engineering subcommittee. And the city has a great reporting system for if any community member sees something that's not up to standard for the staff to look at. And so we talked about that a little bit.
Gotcha. All right, and we did get your report, so thank you so much. I know some of the goals and stuff we're going to discuss here in a few minutes. Okay. PSA. I know, Eliza, did you have anything to report?
No, I don't have anything to report. I mean, due to the last December I'm not going to discuss that. But yeah, just pending at this time. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Eliza. Okay, accessible recreation playground.
We are a committee of one, and we did not officially meet.
You met daily.
We met every day.
Okay, and thank you so much. All right, and then community volunteer involvement.
Okay, we didn't meet in December because we had basically met in November as well. And we're wanting to, well, we sent the report over, and what our goals want to be for next year. We really want to get that moving and get people involved so that we don't sit here in empty meetings. We want people to come in and share what they know, how we can get out there, and make ourselves more known. So that's the ultimate overall goal of the committee.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. And we will talk about goals here in just a few minutes. Okay, for staff reports, the parking enforcement regarding parking violations, that is in your packet. I know Ricardo was not here. However, we did, in looking at it, we will follow up in February for clarification. December numbers were lower than expected. I do know they're still moving in between offices and things like that, so we'll get a better clarification for those numbers in February when he is here. Let's see. Our Park and Recreation Department, did we have any updates?
I was hoping that they would be here by the start of the meeting. If she arrives before the meeting's over, then maybe she can share the project updates and upcoming activities. But unless she's here, there's no update.
Gotcha. All righty. And then I'm assuming no for the planning and community development as well.
That's us. We just discussed the unexcused absences. There are 3 committee members whose terms expire. That is Ms. Jones, Ms. Flores, and Ms. Allen. If you are interested in being considered for reappointment, please let Melissa know so she can get your names and turned over to the city secretary's office. And then you have to submit an updated application by February 11th. Others, if you have persons that you think would be good candidates to sit on the committee, please have them turn in applications as soon as possible. They can find the application on the city secretary's website. The city's website has recently changed. We are now Corpus Christi TX.gov. Corpus Christi spelled out. Corpus Christi TX.gov, and then you can find the city secretary's office or website from their portion. And then I believe the new council, they will appoint new members either at the end of January or the beginning of February. It is common for persons whose terms are expiring that they sit until the new committee members have come on, is how we've done it. So if your term expires February 1st, but there's a February meeting and you're being considered for reappointment, you usually continue to come to the February meeting. If there are any questions, please reach out to Melissa or me, and we'll get you answers.
So we fill out the official application like we did the first time?
It says eligible members will need to submit an updated application. So if you submit an application, but then Melissa will also ping the city secretary's office and say, hey, Ms. Jones has turned in an updated application. She would like to be reconsidered for the committee. So it kind of goes to the top of the stack when the new city council is considering appointments. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So reapply, ladies. Okay. And boy, that's a long Corpus Christi, Texas, tx.gov.
Yeah, Corpus Christi, tx.gov.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay, so unfinished business for discussion and possible action. Now, included in your packet, I think it's on mine, it's page 10 and 11, is the goals that were submitted from each subcommittee. I do want to propose an amendment, a motion to amend for the PSA announcements. If we can include on that, to produce 3 PSAs for this coming year that we would be published on our social media page. I know Eliza, as chair of that, is that something you would consider like adding in for that? And we would work with the, the public relations team and stuff, marketing, to get that promoted this year?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking about social medias and any of the information that's being shared. I've noticed, I don't know if we can discuss this, but I guess we can put this in the report for this discussion, that when, the public, so when the public has any events, like for example, that's happening at the Parks and Rec or at Public Health District, there's some registrations online that doesn't have the accommodations request where a person can go on and fill out the information, and then on the bottom of their page online, it doesn't say anything about ASL accommodation requests or interpreter requests. So that way we can make sure that we are also considering people with disabilities in terms of what type of modifications or accommodations they need. I don't know if I can share this, but this is like on my volunteer time for something that's not part of this committee. Is it okay if I can share that?
Absolutely.
Yes, okay. So I have ASL, American Sign Language. It's a little club that I've been doing for the past 2 years. ASL Women of Corpus Christi is basically just a mixture of families, women, children, men, but mostly focused on women, on empowerment. And so this year, as the point of contact for ASL women, I'm hoping to focus on mental health. And so I've reached out to, I believe, this Parks and Rec, either that or the Public Health District, I'm not sure, but they're in partnerships for a Corpus Christi neighborhood fitness. And so that's kind of a pending project that they're going to be reaching out. Either, I don't know if Nora Vargas is still ADA, I don't know who's in charge of the ADA coordinator. Would that be you, Jennifer?
No, you can contact the city secretary for now. I'm sorry. You can contact the city secretary for now.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. That I shared with them, that department, to reach out to request accommodations and so forth. So they're looking into that as of right now. Yeah, so something like that along the line of registration, it needs to have accommodation requests on the website, so that way we can get these information out there, including social medias, letting everybody know. And that's what I've noticed. There's not a lot of information or events that's being shared to the public. Yeah, I don't know if that completes.
An accessibility request.
Yeah.
And I know that was one of the reasons why we had to move to a new website, is because our old website was not fully compatible with accommodations, and the new website is supposed to be better with that. So if I have what you're saying correctly, under public service announcements, goal A, produce 3 PSAs on social media, and B, something about exploring accessibility of registration materials or registration availabilities on, for city services.
Yes.
That for under PS, okay. For goals. Okay, so I think you have to make a motion.
Motion, okay.
If you're ready for these, you make a motion to approve, then a motion to amend, then a motion to, and then approve the amendments, and then you can approve the original motion. That was clear.
How do I make that motion? I mean, what do I do?
Do I have to make it or she make it?
No, you can make it.
You can make it.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Okay. How do I ask that question?
Just motion to approve amended
Okay, motion to approve amended the registration online for any accessibility request to be made with the city of Corpus Christi, online registration for any community events?
Yes,
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
And then can we get a approval?
I approve Sandra Flow's.
Awesome, and a second?
A second.
Awesome. Okay, and all those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, all right, and then motion passes.
Good enough.
Okay, and then next is the item G10 that we're going to omit for this month, but we're going to include on next month's agenda for unfinished business. And moving forward to new business for discussion and possible actions, our goal setting for 2025, and then a motion to ratify our committee for personnel, just the annual report. So you guys have that included in there. Let's see. And it's going to be on page 15, and this is what we'll need to start discussing. Where's my sheet? Now, you'll have attachment on there, which is the memo from the city secretary as well, and that's going to be on page 14. And that memo is just the city secretary's information requesting for our annual report. So I'll go ahead and start reviewing the information that we do have on our annual report for this year. The only part that we do need to include would be the goals and objections. So number one, of course, state the goals and objectives for 2024. Our 2024 goals were to arrange 12 presentations for the year, attend 9 community events, including ADA celebration, and write 4 resolutions to pass for the city council, create quarterly PSAs, and host and attend accessibility workshops. This is our closeout for 2024. Then discussion of the, description of the action taken in furtherance of the goals and objections during the 2024 calendar year. So what we did was we provided committee information table at community events, produced closed caption PSA, we produced a people first language PSA, we came with a resolution for protected bike paths, and we did start planning an ADA celebration workshop. So did the board make recommendations to council? If so, what did they recommend? The recommendations that were made were on applicants for vacant positions. Those were what were done in 2024. And then our next spot, I'll go ahead and skip over to number 5 since we'll come back to number 4 in just a sec. Number 5 is how many times did the board meet during 2024? They met 8 times. Or we met 8 times, I should say. And how many vacancies did the board have and for how long? The committee had 3 vacancies in January and February of 2024, 2 vacancies in October and November of 2024, and then 3 vacancies in December of 2024. So, new year, 2025, we're going to fill those spots all up this month. We hope and pray. But as we go back to the goals for 2024. I know everyone had submitted. We have something on there for all departments. I'm sorry, subcommittees, as far as our committee goals. So this is our opportunity to include what we would like to include for this year. Now, Jennifer, I know we had mentioned it would just be a few sentences on this. So we would need to shorten this up. Is that my understanding?
Yes, we're limited in character space.
Okay.
You could there's 4 committees, right?
Yes.
You could, if you want to reference 1 or 2 of the top priority subcommittee goals, you could come up with a committee goal separate from the subcommittee goals. But don't try and take everything from the subcommittee goals and make it fit in this box. Just take 2 or 3, 4 max, and synthesize them into just a few sentences.
Okay. So guys, in looking at page 10, what sticks out to you as one of the most dire? on there that you would really like to see implemented and that we will work together to bring into fruition for 2025?
Quick question. So this is part of what's on page 10, but it's not, I guess, we wouldn't put it in as a goal. But as you can see here, we had asked about renaming, instead of having playgrounds, having accessible recreation, because then it goes across the board, because like an adult with a disability isn't, a playground. So just the wording. So how do we go about changing that? Is it a bylaw thing that we need to change the subcommittee?
I don't believe, I'll have to double check, but I don't believe the subcommittees are set in the authorizing language. I believe they're in the bylaws. So you would probably be able to change that through a bylaw revision, which you all can choose to review your bylaws at any time. But I'll have to double check to make sure that that's not in any sort of committee authorizing language, but I don't believe it is.
Could we incorporate that, like kind of tweak it? I know we had kind of discussed, one of the goals this year was potentially let's review bylaws and then come back with our recommendations of these are what we would like to see changed, and maybe getting someone from legal here to kind of tell us, yes, we can, more than no, we can't.
I think that might be a good goal for us this year, is to really look at and focus and streamline our bylaws, because I know that was something Sandra and I had even talked about.
Yes, that way we all get
Do
a
all of
better
our committees
understanding.
subcommittees make sense?
So
That's what we
would
talked
that be,
about at ours.
review and discussion of, review and revision, discussion and revision of bylaws or
Update?
update?
Would that be a goal? Like, can that be a goal that we would?
If you give me creative license for a minute, may I suggest something like review and amend bylaws to reactivate and engage committee? So, meaningful something.
Love it.
Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yes.
Yes.
To make it
Okay.
more pertinent to the needs of the community.
Yeah, so if you'll, let me write just a little bit.
Okay.
Keep talking, let me write some.
Okay, so I think that would fall right under it altogether in renaming the subcommittees to be make more sense than what we have in place right now.
Well, and we had talked about in our subcommittee meeting is, can some of these subcommittees be put into more than one, like things that are we spinning our wheels having this many subcommittees and not having enough people in each subcommittee to do anything?
Exactly.
So taking 4 subcommittees and turning them into 2 powerful subcommittees with
I think that
kind
would
of
be-
the same thing would be, I think, a little bit easier, because especially, with the amount of people that we have and stuff. So that would be something that would be under what we're discussing, right, Jennifer? Kind of like reviewing?
I
Okay.
think the only problem, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, if we just went down to 2 subcommittees, we'd have quorum in one of the committees, if everyone was on a subcommittee.
That was what I was going to say too.
Yeah, may I?
If we were fully, we'd have
Yeah.
9 people, right?
Well, there might be one subcommittee that has to stand alone, but we might have, maybe we can go down to maybe 3 or something. But once we look at it, we'll be able to tell. But some of the things that are discussed in these different subcommittees actually fall within
They do, they
each
overlap.
other. Like exploring the online events and stuff, and that kind of falls into the same thing as when we're talking about accessible recreation, right? Like those kind of fall into each other type thing.
I think she's still thinking. She's putting
I know,
a
we're-
note on.
Sorry
But
if
it
I'm
does make
derailing you,
sense.
Jennifer.
No, but I think if we have it listed, like the review and amend bylaws, and then whatever she tallies onto that, that can be exactly what we're talking about in this coming year, is making it more cohesive and make more sense, because, and you're right, a lot of them, they overlap with one another, and it's kind of, we fall into all these different buckets. Even if we don't go down to 2, it's maybe 3, maybe, you know. But yeah, we definitely have to have a meeting set aside on one of our, and soon, I think like a February, we get this included to where we're able to review it, come back and say, hey, this is what we're
Well, and
gonna
we're
do.
bringing new people in, so we're bringing
That's true.
fresh ideas too. So it just kind of depends on how long before we can get new people in. here
That's
as
true.
well. I mean, we don't want to wait forever, but
No. Yeah.
Well, I think we should have something for them to work on,
Yeah.
you know, when they do
Their
arrive.
first action would be study your bylaws.
When you,
Here's your bylaws, read them.
it's when they do arrive, we have something, this is what we've come up with. We'd welcome your ideas, but, you know, to just throw somebody in there and say, hey, what do you think? They may not even know where to start to think.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Okay, I think this is a blanket statement that accomplishes what you want to accomplish. And by no means am I recommending it, it is just something for you to consider. Amend bylaws to modernize and reactivate committee and subcommittee to facilitate meaningful activities.
bingo.
Beautiful.
Got it.
Do I have to make a motion to accept that?
Is this the only FY20 or 2025?
Okay, no, let
We
me,
need another
let's
one.
look real quick.
Yeah, we need another one.
Okay. Let's read real quick through here.
I think real big is like what Eliza discussed is, because I was not aware that we didn't have any accommodation request on any of the events that are on there, an option for that. So if we can work with the city to incorporate that,
Or I think first explore it. because
Explore it,
Part of
yeah.
it's going to be, I mean, I hate to say it, but budget constraints
I'm
are
sure.
sometimes there as well. So explore what opportunities
Mm-hmm.
for accommodations for community events.
And then also, as a committee, you know, we say we want to go out and do these events, but we have nothing. Like, you know, the committee needs to come up with something. We can't just go stand at a
Exactly.
table with no information, no nothing. We, as a committee, are going to have to come up with something that we can present and tell and do. So I think that that's an important goal too. And it moves the committee forward in the future. When we're not here, there's something that they can take, because there's nothing right now.
at one point, we did have a flyer. So maybe we can list that as update collateral for, you know, for committee, for events.
May I add CVI? That would be something that we could do, including and incorporating all of that, as well as not just with the flyers, but social medias and email distributions. So that's another thing that we need to work on in terms of, you know, how could we, as a committee, get involved with the community, engaging with them, trying to get people to come in here so they can share their thoughts within the Corpus Christi. I'm thinking Coastal Bend, but you know, something along the line of people who's coming into the city from San Antonio, for example, and they don't know anything or any events or any information that is being distributed to the public, but they should have the right to, if it's in regards to their safety as well.
Yeah, find better ways to promote the committee, like,
I have update committee collateral, update or evaluate and update committee collateral and engagement opportunities.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm still working on available.
So since the CVI is a subcommittee and we need basically everybody's help, could that not be something we put on the agenda like monthly to discuss instead of just the three of us or whoever is in the subcommittee? Can it not be like spread out between all of us? Because we're going to need everybody's involvement, not just 3 or 4 people.
Well, I think with that is there needs to be an updated calendar, because the calendar that we have is not,
we have one.
So, no, I mean, an
Oh,
updated
yeah.
calendar as far as CVI and community events and
What's out-
stuff. So,
what's out
as a committee, that's probably one of the first things, is get that and then bring it back to everybody and then talk about.
What we find. We need to know what's out there, though.
Exactly.
How, for that goal number 2 you were mentioning, evaluate available accommodations for registrations and attendance for public events. Is that what?
When we talk about public events, are we talking about just with the city in Corpus Christi, or like, are we talking about the city working with the agencies?
You were talking about specifically city government websites. So there's, yeah.
Yeah, because we can't do anything with other private
Yeah.
entities.
Right.
Okay.
We can't
Okay.
replace them.
So let me clarify that for city. Is that what you, okay. And then, were you working on one for calendar 2, or is that going to go under the CVI?
No, that, yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
got it.
Part of this stuff. So,
Though, if I may, those are 3 very large goals.
yes. I think
Okay,
they're
I think
cool.
we're good, and they're written beautifully.
Okay, so amend bylaws to modernize and reactivate committee and subcommittees to facilitate meaningful activities. Evaluate available accommodations for registering and attending city events. And evaluate and update committee collateral and engagement opportunities. Okay.
I make a motion to accept those goals.
I will second.
Yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, it passes. That was very nice.
That was beautiful,
Yes, thank you, Jennifer.
recommendations.
For your wording.
You still have to approve the report in its entirety.
Okay.
Was there anything that we left off, though? Was that the only thing that was?
That was the only part that we just needed for was number 4. The rest of it is as detailed as we can make it. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
That was
I think
it.
we can-
Okay.
Something we can accomplish.
awesome.
I'll make a motion to accept the annual report.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I missed that. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that part? Which part is it?
Motion to approve the annual report?
And where is that? Here? Okay. Aye.
Yes.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. All right. Okay, let's see. All right, now we're going to go ahead and move on to item 12, which is the motion adopting the 2025 committee calendar. It's on page 17 in your packet. And this has our committee meetings scheduled. Jennifer is so gracious to include the agenda items for submission are in a teal color, and then committee city holidays and closures are in the orange shade. The dates are based, for our meetings, are based on the bylaws, which is the first Wednesday of the month, as long as there's no holiday within 3 days. So there are a few months where we had to push it back. I think it's September, because September 1st is a holiday. So we'll be meeting on the 10th, which is actually the second Wednesday of the month. And then she does have on there the dates for our committee liaison submission items to be submitted and stuff, so. Does anyone have any questions on our calendar?
I have a question. It's more of I guess, a suggestion with the calendars, especially if we're talking about people with disabilities. I don't see anything in regards to awareness. So, say, for example, deaf awareness is on September. I don't know other people with disabilities, what do they have? The deaf-blind awareness is typically on the last week of June, if I'm not mistaken. But any of that awareness would be great to have in hand and maybe put on the calendar. Is that something I can propose?
This is just our calendar for our meetings.
Right, yeah.
So it's not
For us.
So that's something like when we discussed for the CVI, when we discuss like bringing the calendar of events that are happening within the city to the committee so that the committee can decide where we want to set up and do, that is something, information that would be needed to put on that particular calendar.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome, thank you.
That in, go a little later as we move into this year. Yes, so we will need a motion to approve the calendar.
So I make a motion to approve the calendar.
Second?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion approves. Okay. All right, and then item number 13, upcoming events. Did Lisa submit anything yet? No, she's not here. Okay. The only event that I have that is our the Rise School for Corpus Christi. They are having their Rise, Shine, and Run Inclusive Fair. It is a vendor opportunity. That's going to be on Saturday, February 15th at Water's Edge Park. I believe I'm going to be there with my work that morning. It's early. It gets at 6 in the morning. And it's a table opportunity for us to set up. Would anyone like to go and represent us that day? If not, I can kind of do both, since I'll be there.
I'll be there with Wings of Texas, so
There you go.
I'll be there, but I'm also going to be running, so I can step in with you when needed.
That's fine, and I'll be there. If we just need to locate that tablecloth. Melanie? The tablecloth.
Is that missing? I think it was Jennifer last, but not Scott, the other, Garcia, Rossi.
Gracia,
I will lead to that for you.
thank you. I thought it was either her or Olivia. Yeah,
I will dig for you.
thank you.
I-
But if not, it'll be on a workforce.
I was going to say, I can help put some stuff together, but I cannot be there that day.
And what was the date?
That is going to be on Saturday, February 15th.
It will not have been reviewed for Saturday, February 15th, but we can locate the most recent committee flyer and run some copies of that through the copier.
Thank you, appreciate that. And then just let me know when they're ready and I'll pick those up. Okay. I'll do work on the 15th, 2:15. That's fine. Girl, there's nobody there at the table. It's the most boring table event ever. We just need a presence.
Your table and then that table together.
Mm-hmm. That'll work. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Future agenda items, we'll discuss G10 next month, and which is the resolution that we have on there in support of accessible public service announcements. And then any other future action items?
Do we need to put something on there to start the process for updating our bylaws?
The bylaws.
So do we need to make an agenda item for next month to have that discussion at least initiated?
Yes.
Jennifer, can you send all of us the bylaws beforehand so we have time to review them for discussion during the meeting?
And to make a clarifying statement, the bylaws do say that 3 unexcused absences may result in a voluntary resignation from the committee.
Okay, perfect. I have a comment question, I don't know, but as far as the one that we put on hold, the resolution, we did talk about last time that it wasn't technically written correctly, so just want to bring that back to the table so that when it does, because what I got in my email was the same from the month before, or the time before, so I just want to make sure that when it comes back into play, that it's got the corrections on it where the whereas and the what is and those types of things are actually on it, so that we're not going a whole nother meeting getting that clarification on there.
Yes, we're going to work with the committee on that.
Okay. Anything else, anyone? Well, this was very smooth. We can get on time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, to close, 3:44. Thank you guys so much. we're close. So smooth.
Email me. I take your word, but email me because I want to have, I like to have documentation. Okay. Because they do have planning commission. Would you all like to keep your materials, or you want us to throw them away? Of course, yes, yes, take them with you, yep. Doesn't matter, either one of us. Either one of us. Of course. Sign yours too. Thank you. What's that? Oh, okay. Do you need anything from us? Nope. Okay. And if neither one of us were available to sign, the chair could sign too. So. Thank you. Does that work? Are you swear? Yeah. Okay.